plumbing, heating, cooling, and electrical systems all in one membership. Call
John Henry's
to learn more.
435-5555. John Henry's Plumbing, Heating and Air,
and electrical.
Rashawn Jackson here for Bauer Infrastructure, a veteran-owned local company proudly serving Lincoln, Lancaster County, and the surrounding areas. Bauer provides quality work at an affordable price, and they're growing rapidly. If you want to experience a career with a fast-paced, family-friendly environment, visit BauerInfrastructure.com. They have top-of-the-line benefits, year-round work, even through the winter. Bauer, usher in the new era of infrastructure to an area near you. And as always, go Big Red.
Rico here with HIS Auto Care at 70th and Van Dorn, letting you know HIS is a great place to bring your vehicle for service. With superior service bumper to bumper, we'll treat your vehicle like it's your mother's. Doesn't get any better than that. So call 402-488-8934 and HIS Auto will make you glad you did. 5% off, mention this ad, and for sure your mother will be proud you called. 402-488-8934, HIS Auto Care, 70th and Van Dorn. God bless you.
Wrestling fans, it's time to elevate your game, just like Stevens & Smith Construction does for your concrete needs. As your full-service concrete contractor, we deliver solid results every time. From singles to doubles, fighting for inside position to scrambling reversals, we know how to pin down quality and slam expectations. Stevens & Smith Construction, a proud sponsor of Takedown Tuesdays on 93.7 The Ticket, where Husker wrestlers bring you all the action. Don't stall, Stevens & Smith Construction is here to help you build a concrete foundation for the win. Check us out at www.stevensandsmith.com because stalling is a penalty and winning is the only option.
Have you been injured in an accident and don't know where to turn? Do you need a lawyer you can trust to handle your case with professionalism and compassion? The attorneys at Liberty Law Group understand that a call to an attorney is a call for help. If you've been injured, we want to help you. Liberty Law's experienced attorneys are committed to the pursuit of justice for those injured. Contact us for a free consultation by calling 877-42-LIBERTY. Call Liberty Law and find out how we can help you get the compensation you deserve. Call 877-42-LIBERTY. Liberty Law Group, trial attorneys you can trust.
This is Lincoln's home for sports talk on the FM dial. Also online at theticketfm.com.
On the internet.
KNTK FM Firth, 93.7 The Ticket.
When you were a kid, clubs were cool. Robotics club and space club and stuff like that. But what do adults get? Book clubs and quilting clubs? Nah, forget that. How about margarita clubs and old-fashioned clubs? Get to Upside Bar and Lounge for the best clubs in town. Try all 10 varieties of Upside margaritas or old-fashions and take home a free souvenir glass. Grab the whole crew and pair it with Taco Night on Mondays or Whiskey Wednesdays. Upside Bar and Lounge at 29th and Pine Lake.
With UBT, you've got total control over your money. Like Doug, who runs his game day tailgate like a well-oiled machine.
I got burgers, brats, chicken, dogs, plus all the fixins. And with the UBT Go app, I can track my food spending from anywhere.
Pro move.
They don't call me Grill Sergeant for nothing.
No matter your goals, UBT helps you feel good about reaching them. Union Bank and Trust. Member FDIC.
Raising little ones is a big job, and you do your best to give them a good start every day. That means making sure they're well cared for while you're apart. You work hard, but it's not always easy to make ends meet. There may be help. Find out if you qualify for Nebraska's Child Care Tax Credit for working parents. You could be eligible for a credit of up to $2,000 per child on your next tax return. Learn more at nebraskachildcaretaxcredit.org. Brought to you by First 5 Nebraska and Nebraska Children and Families Foundation and aired by the Nebraska Broadcasters Association and this station.
Wrestling fans, it's time to elevate your game, just like Stevens & Smith Construction does for your concrete needs. As your full-service concrete contractor, we deliver solid results every time. From singles to doubles, fighting for inside position to scrambling reversals, we know how to pin down quality and slam expectations. Stevens & Smith Construction, a proud sponsor of Takedown Tuesdays on 93.7 The Ticket, where Husker wrestlers bring you all the action. Don't stall, Stevens & Smith Construction is here to help you build a concrete foundation for the win. Check us out at www.stevensandsmith.com because stalling is a penalty and winning is the only option.
This is the Don't Punt Hour with former Nebraska receiver.
Throwing over the middle, completes the pass. He's got speed to the end zone. Touchdown! 45 yards.
And return specialist.
This time he beats the kicker and one more.
DeMornay Pierson-El.
Not only does the sideline have confidence in Pierson-El, but Pierson-El has confidence in Pierson-El.
on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. Powered by the Teammates Mentoring Program.
All right, welcome into the Dumb Punt Hour. Harrison on Dumb, the ones and twos. As always, we got the host of the morning, Pierson-El, streaming in 402-464-5685 is the Starter Heyman text line. You can also put a face to the voice. Facebook, YouTube, X, Allo, channel 961. If you got Allo cable on wherever you get the podcast from, once the show's all said and done and edited into the podcast form. Welcome in. The morning, Pierson-El. How's it going on what has been by far the crappiest Tuesday we've met all year?
It's too cold. I don't like it. I'm ready for the heat.
Yeah, I keep saying this. I need something bad. I genuinely mean it. I am a few more layers of getting a little whiter before I just fade out of existence. Like, I need some vitamin D. Tomorrow's going to be worse. I think Omaha's going to online classes already, or at least that's what I read on Twitter. Not sure how true that is, but yeah, it's going to be one of those days tomorrow. With that being said, as always, we're not going to talk about the weather the entire time. I want to change it up a little bit. We're getting to a point where Husker baseball is going to be starting up here before we know it. They got a neutral site desert. I believe, let me double check what the actual tournament's called. Or excuse me, not tournament, invitational. They got the MLB Desert Invitational. It's got UC Irvine, Vanderbilt, San Diego State. And I feel like we're at this point with Nebraska baseball where you can tell me yes or no. Last year, clearly the best team in the Big Ten. You know, beyond them just winning the Big Ten trophy, I thought heading into it, they looked the best as well.
I would agree that's a fair statement.
Problem is, Big Ten, one of the weaker conferences as far as the Power Four goes in baseball.
That's one of them things. Like, you can say that, but you still a conference champ. You can't just overlook that and just brush that under the rug or whatnot.
Well, the reason I say that is like, Nebraska gets into this point, and whether it's true or not, the way this gets graded, like about 70% of their schedule, it's probably closer to 75 conference games, because it is believed by everybody else to be the weaker conference. It is kind of tough for Nebraska to make real waves as far as seeding goes when they try to make that run to get past regionals, to make it super regionals. And we've seen this with Nebraska when they make it. They just can't get out of that first group. It feels like the goal for Nebraska is like, now that you're clearly with the best team in the Big Ten, like you kind of have to stay there and almost bring the rest of the Big Ten up with you, because the goal again is going to be go win the Big Ten. When you get to the SEC, ACC, and the tournaments, that's when it gets a little bit harder. We talked about it last year with Florida. They got guys like 1 through 6. They can hit, like they're power hitters. And when you get to Nebraska, Brett Sears, great pitcher, struggled a little bit. Against Florida was just red hot. I'm not, Brett Sears is a phenomenal pitcher. We were lucky to have him, Big Ten pitcher of the year. But at the same time, like we just noticed that when you're playing Florida and some of these SEC teams, I mean, they got dudes that can hit throughout pretty much all that lineup. So I guess like the goal for Nebraska to be on top of the Big Ten, do you kind of go on track what you've been doing and really just a defensive minded through the pitchers, or do you try to bleed into a little bit what the SEC is becoming? And you're not as necessarily strategic about your lineup, but you just got guys that can hit. A lot of that just comes to recruiting too. What do you got around you?
I think it's both. Definitely, of course, to play catch up. Some of those teams might be a little bit out of reach with the SEC. I mean, some of their middle tier teams are still even. I won't say light years ahead, but a few steps ahead of most teams in the Big Ten and whatnot.
Well, Florida, correct me if I'm wrong, I think they were like towards the bottom, weren't they, heading into the conference?
They got hot late in the season. They were still a good team. They had players on there. They just were streaky. They caught hot, towards the ending of their season, and it just they just rattled off what they rattled off. So I mean, for Nebraska, I definitely think. Winning the Big Ten is definitely the floor. But you also have to, the goal is, yes, to get out of that first bracket and whatnot. Now, doing that, you have to recruit a little bit better all around to help get you there. You can't just rely on talent alone, just because sometimes when you go up against some of these more talented teams, sometimes, talent does get you over the hump versus hardworking occasionally, not every single time. You also had one of those moments where you caught a very, very hot team and it got ugly.
Yeah, absolutely. And just with that being said, so I want to look it up. They did get hot towards the end, but conference record-wise, Florida was 13-17 in the SEC last year. We saw the damage that team did, and that's just kind of when you get to the SEC.
But look, like that's tough to say because like look who's in the SEC.
Oh
like,
yeah, it's incredible.
If they would have been in the ACC, they probably would have been a top 5 team easily.
Well, you put them in the Big Ten, it's top 2 team. Nebraska, Florida, and like if we're being real,
That's why I said ACC. I wasn't trying to let us be. You're trying to break us down. I'm trying to kind of give us more credit.
Fair enough. Yeah, let's put them in the ACC. Yeah, that'd be great in the ACC. Yeah, it's just one of those things where, and I'm not like the biggest baseball guy. Anybody listens to me enough, like knows I don't talk baseball necessarily a ton. But at Nebraska baseball, it's getting more and more to a point of credibility. And to me, the way I just see it on the outside looking in is like, it just feels like they have to kind of drag the Big Ten because I don't see any real baseball powers coming out of the Big Ten or.
I mean, Michigan is streaky every now and then. Maryland is typically good, but they've been, streaky or whatnot. You'll have a few teams here and there. You might have a good year. We've been streaky at times and just kind of hit the wrong stride late, or just get put into a bracket with I would say more talented. When I say a more talented team, a deep talented roster team, not saying that their players necessarily are better, but they have more valuable players from 1 to 25 or whatever. You know what I mean? So that's just the case. When you get to the tournament, those teams who have a lot, who are well rounded, not just the starters and everything like that. You got depth. You see those teams typically do better, and also those teams who are streaky. And we just have to be a better job at creating that depth.
Yeah, and we got to see some of that depth that we have been creating step up this year for sure. We're seeing really cool spots with it. One of the by far the coolest memories, Brockett had that no hitter, and I believe Greg Sharp actually got to call that game as well. And it was one of the cool calls he has before like the news really got out there and everything he was battling. It was cool for him to like have that moment, or maybe it's shortly after the news broke. But either way, there's definitely some highlights, like more highlights I can count than in years past. So it feels like it's on the way up. The goal is like you just got to keep this thing going. And eventually you make some noise in regionals, get super regionals. And to your point, a lot of it's been tough draw. Like say what you will about Florida, say what you will about being 13-17 in the SEC, best conference in baseball, arguably last year. After they beat Nebraska, they put Kentucky on a shellacking. I think it was like 11-0. So like Florida was red hot heading into that thing, and Nebraska would have to play their best, better than their best. They had all year if they're going to be able to beat Florida. And that's kind of the beauty of baseball. Sometimes it just shakes out like that. Brett Sears wasn't having the best day, but at the same time, Florida was just unreal. You can give me the best pitcher in college baseball last year, and they're still probably going to give some runs those days where Florida was playing us in Kentucky. Because, I mean, my Lord, I'm blanking on the guy's name, but it was like the one guy you were sure wasn't going to do much damage. And I think he was like 3 for 3 in that first game versus Nebraska. Every single one of them, he got to second base. And it was just like, not home runs, just finding that soft spot. So sometimes it breaks down like that. I think the goal for Nebraska is like continue to be the leading example of the Big Ten. And over time, it should elevate Big Ten baseball play. The Murray Pierson-El, did you play baseball growing up?
Baseball was actually my first sport. It's just that I just didn't stick with it. My grandfather brought me up into it. He was a huge baseball fan. I'll play it. It's just not my. I just didn't have the same love for baseball as other sports.
Yeah, I was the same way. I went out for like a year. I partially blame the population of my town size. We had 2 teams in Pee Wee, and the 2 teams played each other every week. And I was lucky. I wasn't a great player on the team. Don't get me wrong, but my team was definitely more loaded. So we just won every week in a blowout, and it was so boring. Like just winning like that. And then
y'all didn't play other towns or anything like that. Like that's bad scheduling.
I don't know what was going on. It was like some Pee Wee baseball. Yeah, it was bizarre. I couldn't tell you what we were doing up there in Arlington, Nebraska that year for baseball. If what was going on, if the numbers were just that bad. But yeah, we just played the entire team all summer. And I think I want to say that was like 4th, 5th grade, maybe. It was bizarre. And for whatever reason, that whole thing kind of spoiled my love for baseball because I had this weird idea. It's like, oh, this is it. So I clearly didn't go out for it the next year after what that example was. But enough about me on my baseball story. When going back to Nebraska, it just there's a lot on the plate. What do you actually expect out of them? Is this a repeat Big Ten champion? And, looking at some of the guys have lost, we're going to have some new faces that you hope to step up as well. Can this team just make it past regionals? Like, that's a lot to ask for. But it's like the way its trajectory's gone. Is it this year?
Like I said, I would hope Big Ten champs is definitely, a repeated thing. And then, the next steps, would be making it past regionals. That would be an excellent season. It's the next thing, that's coming. We've seen them be pretty good. They've won the Big Ten, multiple times in the past 5-6 years. They've been a dominant team in the Big Ten. It's just that the next step has to come.
Absolutely. And who was the last Big Ten team to win? Is it Michigan?
That I'm unsure. We would have to look into that one.
I'm pulling it up right now. This would be good. So we can get a good idea on like how this has gone. So Tennessee, obviously last year that was a big one. People are actually rooting for Tennessee because the whole Texas A&M situation. LSU in 2023, Ole Miss 2022, just going in order. Mississippi State, 2020 was COVID, obviously canceled. Vanderbilt, Oregon State, Florida, Coastal Carolina, Virginia, Vanderbilt. If we count it, 2013 UCLA, not quite the Big Ten yet in 2013. 2012 Arizona, South Carolina, LSU, Fresno State, Oregon State, Texas. Let's see.
One of those years, Michigan, I think went deep or something like that. I can't remember exactly when, but I feel like it was more so recent.
That's what I thought.
They may have not won it, but I thought they went somewhat deep in the somewhat deep at college.
2019 they got runner up is probably what we're thinking of.
Probably.
But man, trying to find a Big Ten team that actually won it is a lot harder than I thought it was going to. I'm actually gonna have to look that up. I thought I'd just be able to go down by the years. Sorry, Heyman text line. If you guys can pull it up before I get there. Unknown texter 8985. Michigan made the College World Series not too long ago. 2019 they were runner up. Unfortunately, didn't end up winning the tournament. Well, I'll have to look that up over the break. But nonetheless, we'll switch gears a little bit. I'm going to do something a little different. We're going to go to NBA 2K ratings and just see how these fit because they're always kind of fun to look at. And I was listening to Kevin Durant. And are you ever surprised to see how much these NBA players genuinely care about what the 2K rating is? Like, if you were in the NFL, would that piss you off if they gave you something that you thought you didn't
deserve? Athletes definitely pay attention to that. Like, for sure, it pisses them off because it's like, what are you grading on? Like, how are you grading it? And it's like, okay, if you got it wrong, like, what gave you that reason for it to be that? Like, what did you see to mark it lesser than what it might be? Now, you might have just seen a bad game, or you might just be a hater, but they definitely pay attention to that, for sure.
Okay, that makes a lot of sense, because NBA, certainly. Even in the NFL, or not so much?
Yes, absolutely.
Like, even the offensive lineman, I wonder about that, because that's no one's ever starting in my career playing offensive tackle, or maybe they are.
I can't really say, for the lineman wise. I just remember skill positions more so, talking trash or going back and forth, or the Madden ratings because the Madden people will come around at training camp, so you would see them.
Oh, okay.
And so like you know that they're there and whatnot. So they kind of base things off of that and whatnot. And then if you have a good week or whatever, they access it and they might add some things or subtract some things or whatnot. So you definitely know, and you definitely want to have a better practice so they cannot kind of mess you over on that.
It just cracks me up. I'm always amazed by like how much players care, because I guess when I look at like 2K and Madden, I just see like how sloppily they're made sometimes.
It's just like one of those conversations you could say barbershop conversations. Who's better, LeBron or Jordan? It's just one of those type of things, like just to kind of talk and fuss and argue over. It's not anything like harsh or really like they really care. It's just something to like, all right, pastimes, camp is camp, gives you something to kind of talk about, fuss about, or whatever, kind of gets your juices pumping, and it is what it is, and it's on to the next thing.
Okay, understood. You guys aren't losing sleep over it, though.
No, not no. But it's just something to argue over, for the time being.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, let's just do this for fun then. According to 2K, and 402-464-5685. If you guys aren't driving, you can even text in all 10 if you really want to. Give me the best 10 players according to 2K. Now, I'm not going to ask you for the order or rating. I just want to see if you can get all 10.
Joker's got to be in there.
Yep, he's number. I'll give you where they fall to give you an idea on kind of where we're at on this list. Nikola Jokic, the Joker. He's number 1 overall with a 98.
Jason Tatum's got to be in there.
Jason Tatum is in there at number 7 with a 95.
Gilchrist, Shea.
SGA is in there. He is number 3, also with a 98. You got one more 98 overall player in there.
Luka's got to be in there.
Number 4 at 96.
LeBron has to be in there.
Yeah, LeBron's at 5, also on 96.
Wemby's got to be in there.
Close. He's 11. He's right at the edge. He's at 94 overall rating. I wondered if Wemby was going to be in there, and you can honestly make a case. I don't care what you say. You can talk to me about the Spurs record. I don't care. Just go watch a game and get back. The guy's unreal. Okay, so you knocked out Nikola Jokic, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, Luka, LeBron. No more Lakers.
What's the
and you got Tatum as well.
What's the Timberwolves? I can't think of his name for right
Anthony
now.
Edwards is number 12, 93.
Wow. Okay.
There's some guys that you're blanking on. Think of the guys that have been around forever. One guy I used.
I'm thinking. I want to say Steph, but that's just because of who he is.
Nope, Steph. Yeah, he damn right deserves to be at number 6. He's still unreal. 95 overall.
Okay.
Of course, he's got the 99 3-point shot rating. That's gonna boost him up.
That's gonna boost you. I kind of want to throw Kyrie in there because I feel like he's been sneaky.
Where does Kyrie Irving fall? He's all the way down at 18.
Okay.
92 overall. This one kind of surprises me. You're not going to guess it. At number 10, Joel Embiid, 94 overall rating.
I think that's just because of the potential of who he is. I was thinking him, but I didn't say that just because he's been hurt. So it's what are you grading it off of?
That's what I'm saying. That's why I'm I just,
him and Kawhi, I was a toss up with saying those two just because of injury.
Kawhi really got shoved down the ladder recently. He's all the way down, almost not even a 90 overall anymore. He's at number 21 at 90. He's just been trending down. More injuries.
I'm trying to think who.
I'll give you some hints. You mentioned Luka. That's your hint between that. I don't think you need a whole lot else.
He's in there or
yeah, Luka's in there. You got him right at 4.
Anthony Davis?
Yeah, top 10 player for top 10 player. Anthony Davis at number 9, 95 overall.
Okay.
Just got injured, which is crazy. You're missing 2 players. You're missing number 2 yet, which is surprising that you haven't. This guy, whatever you think about him, he is a freak, nonetheless.
East or West?
East, and it might be a Chicago Bull in the near future. Well, maybe next year. I shouldn't say near future.
I don't know. You got me there.
Giannis Antetokounmpo. He's still number 2 overall.
Oh my God. Oh.
Yeah, and then number 8. The other one I'm surprised because I used him as the example. Kevin Durant.
Okay.
He was disgruntled by it. He is not happy that he's number 8 overall. But I mean, he's still a 95 overall rating. So
I mean that could partake in you not necessarily doing what you're supposed to do or having more success in Phoenix.
Yeah,
I feel like a piece of that is bias of players who be players of the people whoever's choosing who they like and kind of the success that you've had.
Yeah, that's fair enough. I mean, like
Kevin Durant could be the villain. It's like, like, yeah, I feel like you're better than X, Y, and Z, but I don't like you, so here.
Where is Kevin Durant? Like, is he a top 10 player for you still?
I think so. I mean, a top 10 scorer easily.
Top 10 scorer. I'm with you there.
Everywhere he's been, he's been a bucket. Now, has he had the career of Kobe would carrying a team to the finals, or like LeBron getting you to 11 straight finals? No. And I think that's the kind of knock on him, that people kind of compare him to the likes of those players, because you were a superstar, or you are a superstar, you are, at some point in time could have been the face, or was the face, or was the villain. But I mean, he's still an asset. He hasn't gone anywhere, even when he was with Brooklyn. His numbers were still good. It just, terrible situation. His numbers I wouldn't say his numbers haven't dipped. He can score at will. He can drive past you. He can shoot over you. So I mean, I think that's a valid reason. I still don't think that he's at 8. I think 8 is too far down.
I'm not gonna say 8's too far down. I definitely top 10 though.
Yeah,
I'm not gonna say he's not top 10. I think that's crazy to put him outside of the top 10. Like, for whatever you say about him, the guy's still an elite scorer. And he can shoot over ironically enough, the only guy that's good at blocking Kevin Durant on those shots that he loves so much is Russell Westbrook, because he's gotten so good at just. KD's got this situation.
I mean, he knows him. He's played with him long enough. So like he's played him one-on-one in practice. He's played him, so he's seen it. He could probably telegraph that it's coming.
Dude, that's exactly what it is. I encourage anybody, whenever Russell Westbrook and the Denver Nuggets go play the Suns of Kevin, well, he is going to be on the Suns. Trade deadline's over. Anytime you see that matchup, it's exactly what you said. He knows all of Kevin Durant's moves. And I think there's still some energy there.
There's definitely still some tension. Definitely.
So every time you'll see Kevin Durant goes for a signature, get to a spot on the baseline. And Russell Westbrook's gotten so good at recognizing when that's going down. He doesn't get in front. He just sprints around the behind of Kevin Durant and blocks it from behind every single time. I think Kevin Durant's blocks, like almost 50% of them can be contributed to Russ. It's kind of unreal to watch. And someone was pointing that out the other day on YouTube and I was watching it. So shout out Russell Westbrook, not only for how funny he is to watch on the defensive end of the floor at times, but also anybody's been watching the Nuggets. It's been an awesome revival of his career. With that being said, we'll throw this break. We'll keep it on NBA. You read my mind a little bit with LeBron, barbershop conversation, the GOAT conversation, because I'm actually going to go there next. I see it more and more. We are officially heading into the generation of, I think everybody younger than the age of 20 is going to say LeBron James is the GOAT. So it's on my generation and up to defend that. Make sure that everybody knows LeBron James LeBron James is not the GOAT. It is still Michael Jordan. We'll talk about that next. Don't go anywhere. Don't punt hour. Good morning, Pierson-El, Harrison Arns. Talk to you in a bit.
Rico here with HIS Auto Care at 70th and Van Dorn, letting you know HIS is a great place to bring your vehicle for service. With superior service, bumper to bumper, we'll treat your vehicle like it's your mother's. Doesn't get any better than that. So call 402-488-8934 and HIS Auto will make you glad you did. 5% off, mention this ad, and for sure your mother will be proud you called. 402-488-8934, HIS Auto Care, 70th and Van Dorn. God bless you.
Hey everyone, Lance here with Black Label. We specialize in creating custom crafted decks, pergolas, patio covers, and more. Plus, our retractable screens, gazebos, and patio enclosures create the ultimate outdoor retreat. With over 50 years of combined experience, we're not just builders, we're creators of unforgettable memories.
Call them today at 402-730-6333 or visit blacklabelbuilt.com for a free consultation.
Let's turn your backyard dreams into reality.
Black Label Built, built to serve, built to last.
Be sure to check out the top-selling Recomp. Recomp helps build lean muscle and strength while decreasing body fat. Recomp is ideal for men and women of all ages trying to look their best. Recomp can only be found in Nutrition Authority. For info, visit mynutritionauthority.com.
Raising little ones is a big job, and you do your best to give them a good start every day. That means making sure they're well cared for while you're apart. You work hard, but it's not always easy to make ends meet. There may be help. Find out if you qualify for Nebraska's Child Care Tax Credit for working parents. You could be eligible for a credit of up to $2,000 per child on your next tax return. Learn more at nebraskachildcaretaxcredit.org. Brought to you by First 5 Nebraska and Nebraska Children and Families Foundation and aired by the Nebraska Broadcasters Association and this station.
93.7 The Ticket, Fox, KFXL weather. Brought to you by Bryant Air Conditioning, Heating, Electrical, and Plumbing.
Your Lincoln forecast for today, a chance of snow, especially this afternoon. Otherwise, cloudy skies and breezy conditions with a high around 19. Tonight, snow showers are likely with an overnight low of just 8. And tomorrow, snow showers continuing throughout the day. We'll see a high around 15. I'm meteorologist Kyle Tucker for 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Rosie's Sports Bar and Grill, open for lunch and dinner at 1501 Center Park Road.
Mulberry Barbecue now has a brand new second location to help all your lunch and dinner cravings. Stop by their newest location at 6125 Apples Way near Lowe's off of Highway 2. They have everything from smoked turkey sandwiches to brisket burritos to burn-in sandwiches and pulled pork. Try a dinner plate option of barbecue nachos, a half-smoked chicken, a full slab of ribs, and so much more. Mulberry Barbecue open Monday to Saturday from 11 a.m. to 8 p.m. at 11th and Cornhusker Highway and now at 6125 Apples Way in South Lincoln.
Outside is where winter adventure unfolds. On frozen lakes, icy landscapes, and snow-covered slopes, feeling the cold air rush by as you race downhill. The freedom of gliding with ease and the warmth of being together. From epic sled rides to the fun of ice fishing, it's all right here beneath Nebraska skies. Start your winter adventure at yournebraskaparks.com. Sponsored by Nebraska Game and Parks, aired with the Nebraska Broadcasters Associations and this station.
Perch Merch is your one-stop shop for all your printing and promotional needs in Lincoln, Nebraska. They specialize in screen printing, embroidery, vehicle wraps, window wraps, print collateral, promotional products, and signage. At Perch Merch, they are committed to delivering high-quality products and exceptional customer service. Their experienced team of designers and printing professionals will work with you every step of the way to ensure that your vision is realized. Call for a quote today at 402-217-5212 or go to perch-merch.com.
Are you a skilled mechanic looking for your next big opportunity? Constructors is hiring. We're looking for experienced mechanics to join our family-owned team. We offer competitive wages, great benefits, brand new service trucks, OEM-level diagnostic software, and career growth opportunities. Positions include lead and A-level mechanics for our shop and multiple field technicians. If you're driven and ready to grow with a company that's been around since 1908, apply today at constructorslincoln.com.
Your home is your empire. Protect it with Empire Fence. Get a free instant quote with the online estimating tool at empire-fence.com. See an upfront estimate with no hidden fees. An Empire Fence can provide privacy and improve the appearance of your home. Keep kids and pets in or out of your yard. Increase security and add value to your property. Visit empire-fence.com now to view the stylish and maintenance-free possibilities for your home and get a free instant online quote. Let Empire Fence protect your empire.
This is the Don't Punt Hour on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. Powered by the Teammates Mentoring Program. Here is your host, DeMornay Pierson-El.
All right, welcome back in Don't Punt Hour. Harrison Arns on the ones and twos. Good morning, Pierson-El streaming in. You guys can always join in. Starting him in text line 402-464-5685. Always welcome to join in. We're going to switch it up a bit here, talking a little bit of the GOAT conversation. I kind of teased it on the side. It's crazy what I see on social media. The trend is, I don't know if you've heard it, it's hashtag done with the 90s, wherever you want to put it. It's basically people just giving LeBron highlights, finding a moment of Michael Jordan and just trying to find the worst possible tape you can of the game in the past, using that for the entire debate, wiping away, everybody. You can ask him, any of the players in the past, and they'll just tell you they're all plumbers and electricians. It's a little bit frustrating because it's like, go watch Price in some of those 3-point contests. The dude's not missing. Like, that's back in the day, and his 3-point jumper looked a hell of a lot cleaner than some of the guys out there today. So I get so tired of that conversation, especially when the game, it just gets better as the years go. So, it's always a little bit unfair when you're comparing eras. That's the difficulty of it. But you certainly can't say, we don't get LeBron or Kobe without Michael Jordan. We don't get Michael Jordan without Larry Bird and Magic Johnson. We don't get Larry Bird and Magic Johnson without Kareem, without Bill Russell. There's a chain of these things. So when we just give the middle bird to who was before and say those guys sucked, this is, all of this is, I don't even know what to make of that. Like the middle finger to the past generations. DeMaurice Pierson-El, just give me your thoughts. Who's the GOAT? And, when you hear those terms, done with the 90s, I mean, what's your response? I maybe get a little too ranty about it.
It's funny because, like, sometimes I feel like people forget certain things and they have to be reminded. You can say what you want to say about LeBron and everything like that. LeBron was still chasing one guy. LeBron's whole career was emulating one guy, whether that's shoe deals with Nike, being a different, being your brand of things or whatnot. The blueprint was Jordan. So he went to more finals and everything like that. You could say what you want to say. Well, his numbers, he's played longer because technology has been different for body recovery and everything like that. They're both great, athletes, and their own right, change the game for whatever reason. But regardless, he will always be compared to one person. Until you can dethrone that, that is what it is. I understand, you got the scoring title from Kareem and everything like that. You did it longer. You're catching, Jordan's number and everything like that. You're playing longer. So it's one of those things. Like I said, my GOAT is Jordan, just because everybody wanted to be like Mike. LeBron himself, he can try and deny it, try and twist it and say it and everything like that. That was a person you was chasing. That was a person that gave you motivation and everything like that. So don't act like, it's not and everything like that. Now, today's generation of what basketball is and everything like that, is this LeBron's era of basketball? Absolutely. Is this era, this GOAT's era? Absolutely. But when comparing it holistically, Black Jesus is it. Black Jesus is it.
I can't disagree more.
He strikes the fear of God in people. People didn't have rings because of that man. And I understand the Bad Boys Pistons, gave him the business beforehand and everything like that. So did the Celtics. The Celtics ran LeBron out of Cleveland.
Amen.
You know what I mean? And people can say, oh, well, Jordan had, Pippen and it's a team sport regardless. Kobe had a wingman, from Shaq to Paul Gasol. I mean, it wasn't all just on Kobe or anything like that. So yes, is it impressive that you got into 11 straight finals? Yeah. Now, would it be more impressive if you won more of those than lost? Yeah, but you did it. So
that part,
it'd be different if you only lost 2 or 3 out of the whole times you'd have been there. But I want to say, you 50%? So, I mean, it's like giving out, Josh Allen to the MVP. Everybody's getting a participation award. So you making it what you want it to be when, if you keep it, is what it is. If you want to look at rings, probably Michael ain't even, is second tier. You can look at Bill. You can make that argument. So it's just crazy. It's like, don't get disrespectful. I understand people have their opinions with certain things, but go back and watch the tape. Go back and look at the people who had to fight through Mike and had to go through the Bulls, who, the 2 3-peats, walking away from the game, still coming back and still being dominant. So I don't want to hear it.
Yeah, I'm the same way. I can have the conversation. I just can't. The disrespect is what drives me nuts. Like, as soon as I hear the plumbers and electricians, I'm like, I would love for you to go up to Hakeem Olajuwon and be like, I don't know, you weren't that good, man. What'd you do on the side? Plumbing? Sounds about right. Like, crazy. Patrick Ewing, go up to him, tell him that. Grant, tell all these great athletes, like, I'm not buying it. There's no way you could hoop. Just look at the sport. I mean, this is Dennis Rodman, John Stockton, one of the best guards. Like, still, Stockton holds up as one of the best playmakers we've ever seen in the game. And that's with an offense with, if you want to go back to the era, the offense was not nearly as innovative as it was back then. So John Stockton, not only one of the best playmakers, one of the best defensive players we've seen at that position. And then we'll get some of these comments here. Insightful dude. Has LeBron ever been the best player on a team that he won a championship with? We got to be fair, right? I'm still saying Michael Jordan's the GOAT, but yeah, LeBron's absolutely been the best player on teams he's won the championship with. Dirk's one is more impressive than LeBron's 4.
And that's
from Jordan.
When he was with the Heat, like, at that point in time, like that first year, like was he the most physically gifted player and everything like that? Yeah, but I don't think LeBron them holistically, that group struck fear. I think people were more so afraid of Dwayne Wade, and Dwayne Wade, took a step back and kind of allowed LeBron, to kind of do his thing or whatnot. People were, in my opinion, were more afraid of Dwayne Wade and dealing with Dwayne Wade than LeBron was some of those years while they were in Miami.
Yeah, I'd say regular season, but as postseason went on, I mean, this is where we got. Like, he's got 4 rings, and he's the MVP in all 4 of those. He's certainly, and that kind of goes like Michael Jordan with what he had on the Bulls, like great players around it, but you were scared of Jordan. Dwayne Wade.
You can say the wrong thing. You can say the wrong thing to Jordan and set him off, and it could be 10 minutes left in the game, and it was going to feel like an eternity.
You could say nothing. You just make it up.
It's been documented of like people taunting him on an off night, and he turns it on and gives you a quick buckets, and you're going home, at losses. I'm not saying it didn't happen with LeBron. When he was probably in Miami more so of that, but you don't hear many of those stories and everything like that. Now you hear a lot of those stories with Kobe. Don't say nothing to Kobe. Don't wear, Jordans while playing Kobe because he took it personal. You know what I mean? So they're just different, which is fine and cool. Like I said, just keep the disrespect out of it.
Yeah, like let the disrespect happen between the players. I'm just being real. That's why I liked Kobe. That's why I liked Michael Jordan. That's why I love Anthony Edwards. I miss the era of guys being like, I'm not your friend. Like I'm not trading damn jerseys after the end of this.
They were fighting.
Yeah.
They were throwing blows, choking people out. Jordan choked Reggie Miller.
Yeah, I mean Malice in the Palace, Bill Laimbeer, the Bad Boys. Come on.
And I'm not saying, go back to that and everything like that. Even in the early 2000s or whatnot, people might get suspended, might get fined or whatnot. But nowadays, when people get into it, it's like, all right, now separate the powder puff girls and let's move on with it. Like, cause y'all are not gonna do anything.
I mean, it's the ultimate, and
outside of Draymond Green, Draymond will choke somebody else. He is about that life. Outside,
it depends who it is though. Like he'll throw hooks depending on who's behind him.
Jimmy's like that too.
Jimmy's like that. Draymond's like that. Draymond's a little more within reason. Like he's not going to swing at the Serbian. If he's got Jokic, he'll, maybe not this one. He's actually more calculated than I think people realize with his antics. I think his antics are miscalculated, but I think he is trying to calculate for.
Steven, what's his the dude that was blowing on LeBron and untying his shoe, Stevenson.
Lance Stevenson. Yeah.
He was about it. He didn't care. He was with it.
He's probably one of my favorites. Lance Stevenson was who's another guy who doesn't get enough credit, and it's probably one of my biggest bummers I've had, and a player that I thought was going to be so good, and the league like changed on a dime. It was at the end of like the Zach Randolph era, and this guy came in. He was part of the Pacers. It was like the one guy, I think LeBron James was legitimately scared to go attack the rim with him in there because LeBron James wasn't quite in his prime yet. Roy Hibbert. That dude struck fear into the league for a while, and he was so good. I can't remember if it was injuries or it was him just kind of like fading out of the game due to the way it changed.
I would say a little bit of both. Towards later in his career, I think it was an injury type thing, but he was a bruiser.
Oh, he was so good too.
He was a bruiser.
Yeah, and that's the part where I'm like, yeah, you don't want to go back to the Detroit Pistons bad boys. You got to find some sort of that magic. And I don't know what you do about guys just being all friends now. And I'm sorry if you heard this example before, but it's the one example where I kind of like finally hit my limit. It was after the Kyrie Irving, I'm coming back to the Celtics. He doesn't come. He says that in front of everybody on their court floor, at the end of the season, I'm coming back, gets upset, burns the bridge, forces his way out in a very sloppy way. They come back. The Brooklyn Nets, Kyrie Irving, beat the brakes off the Celtics on the road. And they're all smiles trading jerseys at the end. Like if I'm Tatum, if I'm Brown, there's no way in hell I'm trading jerseys with Kyrie Irving. Like we can be cool maybe a month later, but just that direct coolness with it, especially after a beatdown like that, like you got no energy in you that's just like, oh, we'll do a photo op now. This will be fun for the social media. Like that's kind of stuff drives me nuts. And maybe I'm too cynical. I don't know. What are your thoughts on that kind of stuff?
No, I get that. I mean, Isaiah was walking off the court and not shaking hands, you know. So, I mean, people at the end of the day, people are friends, and it wasn't no harm, no foul between them. But there's definitely a time and a place for it, and that might have not been, you know, the one of the times to do it. But I mean, I'm not opposed to it.
I don't mind the jersey trades. It's just like in certain times, in certain situations, I'm like, you guys got
y'all could have did that after the game. Y'all done cleaned up and everything like that. You know, like there's definitely an appropriate time for it.
Yeah, then that's just kind of where I fit. And it just a part of that too is the regular season seems to have lost like meaning, and now the play-in being involved in it as well. So there's a lot more. And if it's before All-Star break, like you're going to see a lot of that, just like all buddy stuff. So part of it's just the way the league's changed, and not all of it you can fix. Not all of it is Adam Silver or these NBA owners. Like sometimes that's just how things change. But yeah, like kind of to go back to the entire topic when this thing started with LeBron James and Michael Jordan. Got off on a tangent there. Yeah, it's just when you look at Michael Jordan, what he was able to do in less time. I mean, he's got 2 more rings than LeBron James. He was the defensive player of the year. I know LeBron James has been on all first defensive teams, but he's never won defensive player of the year.
Never won a dunk contest. Like it's certain things, you know, and I feel like with LeBron not ever doing the dunk contest kind of started, you know, superstars not competing in that.
Yeah, because Kobe got a dunk contest trophy. He got one. And then LeBron James was really that last one. And it's a good thing because LeBron James wasn't going to be able to hand that to Steph Curry as the new face for the dunk contest. But it did die really after Kobe, of like the best superstar doing the dunk contest died with Kobe Bryant. Oh man, that sounds I didn't even mean to say it that literally, but it really is like no one's been into the dunk contest since then.
I wouldn't say that because the year Dwight Howard did it and won it, I think it was pretty big.
Zach LaVine, Aaron Gordon, I think might have been the last really good one.
I wasn't. It was okay. It still wasn't the Gerald. What's the I can't think of his name. He got.
But McClung's the white kid they just call up every year for the NBA.
No, not him. This is he blew the cupcake out.
Oh, that's Dwight Howard. He put the Superman cape on, went up, blew the candle out.
Yeah, but there was another dude. Like he has crazy dunks in the middle of the game. I just can't think of his name. He was like the runner-up, or he won a dunk contest.
Vince Carter, maybe.
Who?
Carter?
No.
Vince?
Okay. No, I know Vince. Not Vince. I want to say Gerald something. I just can't think. I can't think of it. It'll come back to me. But there was the Zach LaVine one. I mean, it was okay. It wasn't anything crazy. Blake Griffin one was kind of up there. And then kind of after that, that's where it just kind of like fell off.
Yeah, and apologies for everybody listening. We are switching over to college hoops now. So if you're listening to the streams, congratulations, you made it to the crossover. If you got buddies listening to the brick and mortar, we do got college hoops on there. So if you're looking for Dumb Punt Hour, just redirect them to the Ticket app. We'll switch it over. We're going to throw it to break here. Maybe we'll talk a little bit more NBA. Otherwise, maybe we'll finish up with some Husker hoops as they're on a nice little streak right now. Husker women, just quick update. They continue their skid. They lose another one to Iowa. Iowa gets revenge in a pretty blowout fashion. Women's basketball team, there's still plenty of ball left. They're not really sitting in a terrible spot. So we'll leave it at that. We'll throw it to break here. Again, this is the Don't Punt Hour. Harrison Arns on the 1s and 2s. We got the morning Pierson-El streaming in. And actually, give me a second to get my ads ready here as we are no longer on the log. Tell you what, the morning Pierson-El on the other side, since I'm still looking for these ads here, let's go ahead and dive in to Husker hoops. We've talked about the season before, but just trying to figure out what they need to do to make sure that when we get to March, they make themselves available for that March Madness tournament. That being said, don't go anywhere. We'll be back on the other side.
Golfing in 72 degrees and perfect conditions in Nebraska doesn't seem possible in the winter, but it is. Double Eagle Golf is your escape from the bone-chilling cold outside and a reason to keep your clubs out year-round. Book a bay with some friends for a weekend or come by for golf and happy hour on a weekday. Spring leagues begin in February. Get signed up today. That's all at Double Eagle Golf inside the Kinetic Sports Complex at West O Street. Online at doubleeagle.golf. Wall-to-Wall Wine and Spirits is your place in North Lincoln to go for all your needs in wine, spirits, and beer. They also have a large variety of cigars in their walk-in humidor, and they have a top-notch walk-in, temperature-controlled, high-end wine bar. Plus, you can enjoy free samples from their tasting bar. There's only one place to go for all your needs for wine, beer, spirits, and cigars. Wall-to-Wall Wine and Spirits on North 27th Street in Lincoln.
Rashawn Jackson here for Bauer Underground, who has been serving local contractors and utility contractors all across the state since 1997. When you see the black and white trucks, you know the baddest dudes in the business have arrived. Bauer is currently looking for equipment operators, laborers, diesel mechanics, and aerial linemen. Join the brotherhood built on hard work, authentic people, and pedigree of success. Bauer, a family-friendly company who reminds you, go Big Red!
Salt Mine City is now open at 8th and R in the Haymarket. Come check out Lincoln's newest brewery with 12 beers on tap, including the popular Single Axle Light American Lager, Brick Street Amber Wheat, and so many more. There's daily drink specials like $1 off Moscow Mules on Tuesdays, $6 IPAs on Fridays, and $6 Bloody Marys on Saturdays. Stop by Tuesday through Thursday from 4 to 9 p.m., Fridays 4 to 11 p.m., Saturdays 11 a.m. to 11 p.m., and Sundays from noon to 8 p.m. It's Salt Mine City, Lincoln's newest brewery at 8th and R.
Landmark Implement, your John Deere dealer, invites you to their annual sprayer clinic at the Buffalo County Fairgrounds in Kearney on February 5th and 6th. This hands-on event offers expert training on John Deere and Hagie sprayers, covering topics such as machine maintenance, spray tip selection, and exact apply technology. New this year, classes on autonomy preparation, see and spray, and variable rate operation. Don't miss this opportunity, February 5th and 6th in Kearney. Learn more at landmarkimp.com/events.
Ever wish you had another light switch on the other side of the room on a dark night? How much better would you sleep at night if you had a ceiling fan in your room? The High Electric Service Department is here to make your electrical what-ifs a reality. Whether you're looking to replace some outdated light fixtures or brighten up your counters with under-cabinet lighting, High Electric can handle all types of residential electrical installations and services. Give Erica a call at 402-466-6606 or visit high-electric.com to get started. Husker fans, this season, Nebraska is celebrating 50 years of Husker women's basketball, and they need you to help celebrate. You've shown up for women's hoops from the start and continue to prove that Nebraska fans really are the best in the nation. On Sunday, January 26th, the Huskers face Big Ten opponent Ohio State, and they're calling on all Husker fans to help pack PVA so they can celebrate 50 years of Husker women's hoops together. Get your tickets now and be a part of this historic season. For event and ticket information, go to huskers.com/tickets.
Having diabetes doesn't have to ruin your new year. Join a Nebraska-supported program like Living Well with Diabetes. You'll learn how to manage your symptoms, feel more confident, and reduce stress about your diagnosis. Search Nebraska Living Well with Diabetes and click on the DHHS Healthy Living Programs page to learn more. Paid for by the Nebraska Department of Health and Human Services, aired with the Nebraska Broadcasters Association and this station.
In every office, there's two types of people. There are those who bring in bagels and those who eat the bagels that someone else brought in. Everybody likes the first person. Be that first person. Weekday mornings at 7:30, you have a chance to win a business box of bagels from Bagels & Joe. All you have to do is shut up, Sipple. 2 questions for you, 2 for Sip. Win, and the bagels are yours. Lose, well, you don't want to lose.
You lost Monday, you lost Wednesday, you're a loser.
Shut up, Sipple. Weekday mornings at 7:30, brought to you by Bagels & Joe.
Golfing in 72 degrees and perfect conditions in Nebraska doesn't seem possible in the winter, but it is. Double Eagle Golf is your escape from the bone-chilling cold outside and a reason to keep your clubs out year-round. Book a bay with some friends for a weekend or come by for golf and happy hour on a weekday. Spring leagues begin in February. Get signed up today. That's all at Double Eagle Golf inside the Kinetic Sports Complex at West O Street. Online at doubleeagle.golf. Wall-to-Wall Wine and Spirits is your place in North Lincoln to go for all your needs in wine, spirits, and beer. They also have a large variety of cigars in their walk-in humidor, and they have a top-notch walk-in, temperature-controlled, high-end wine bar. Plus, you can enjoy free samples from their tasting bar. There's only one place to go for all your needs for wine, beer, spirits, and cigars. Wall-to-Wall Wine and Spirits on North 27th Street in Lincoln.
Rashawn Jackson here for Bauer Underground, who has been serving local contractors and utility contractors all across the state since 1997. When you see the black and white trucks, you know the baddest dudes in the business have arrived. Bauer is currently looking for equipment operators, laborers, diesel mechanics, and aerial linemen. Join the brotherhood built on hard work, authentic people, and pedigree of success. Bauer, a family-friendly company who reminds you, go Big Red!
This is the Don't Punt Hour on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. Powered by the Teammates Mentoring Program. Here is your host, DeMornay Pierson-El.
All right, welcome back in. Don't Punt Hour, segment number 3. We're back actually live on the Brick and Mortar. Apologies for everybody who is listening, hoping to hear UConn Huskies playing on the road versus the Creighton Blue Jays. Got the guys working on that now. So while I'm doing the show, hopefully we can get that figured out and set you guys up for some college hoops right here on 93.7 Ticket, ticketfm.com. On the bright side, Ticket's always wrong, so we got content for you nonetheless. Good morning, Pierson-El. Since working on that, we don't got a lot of time left. I just want to stick to the GOAT debate because I think the question is now is like, does LeBron have enough time, and what does LeBron have to do? Because he's getting to this point where it's interesting territory, where he's just getting record after record simply because of how long he's played in the age, which are great things. I don't want to take that away from him. But like when you do look at the game, just looking at his last few games here, February 6th, again, this guy's 40 years old, 42 points, 14 for 25, 6 for 9 from 3, 17 rebounds. 17 rebounds. 8 assists, 1 steal, 1 blocks, 38 minutes of play. At 40 years old. And again, this is like, I'm still saying Michael Jordan is the debate. But this is why I also get a little upset when we just totally discredit everything about LeBron. Because what we're seeing, I mean, that's unheard of. To get that many points, I mean, that is like Michael Jordan era stuff. You know, I think I'd have to look. I know the Wizards era wasn't great, but he popped off at least a couple of times there. That's where you're going to get some of Michael Jordan's like records when he got to a certain age. But this is, what does LeBron have to do? Is there enough time for him, I guess, to catch up to Michael Jordan? Because our consensus,
I don't think so. I think he'll, regardless, it'll be 1A, 1B. Jordan will always be the standard. Like I said, the only thing that probably could have changed. Yes, he's got the scoring title, the scoring record, and everything like that. That's great. But you also played in the extra. Is it 7 extra seasons, more seasons than Jordan? Times are different. Technology is different for the body and whatnot. So just imagine what Jordan would have done, with the technology of stuff is. Not saying that's LeBron's fault or anything like that. But I think if he was more consistent with his championship rings, if he'd have got, 3 extra rings, if he'd have got 6 or more, then you could arguably, make that if he only lost, maybe 2 finals, then yeah. But I don't think there will ever be a point in where he passes Jordan, regardless of what else, he does and everything like that.
Yeah. And like, for me, where are you on this? To me, it feels like where LeBron's legacy took its first like major hit that might have put him behind the ball.
Leaving to Miami.
I think that, but what kind of like sparked that too? Jordan P mentioned this earlier in the show, talking about that Mavericks run. I do agree. Arguably, you could honestly make that one of the greatest runs ever in the NBA, because nobody thought the Lakers were going to. I mean, they had to go through Kobe and Powell after they just won a championship run. Nobody picked them. I can't remember. Let me see who they played in that first round. The first round, they had to play the OKC Thunder. Or no, excuse me. They had to play them. So they had the Lakers in that first. Man, I'm having a hard time reading right now. They had the Portland Trailblazers. When the Portland Trailblazers were on their come up, and they were starting to look nice. And then they had to play the Los Angeles Lakers with Kobe and Powell, who just came off a championship. Nobody in their right mind picked them. Then they got the OKC team. That's the OKC team with James Harden, Kevin Durant, Russell Westbrook. Knock those guys off. Get out of here. That team evaporated. Then they get to the Heat. Heat are laughing at Dirk, kind of mocking him. Nobody in their right mind picked them to win that game.
Mm-hmm.
Dirk Nowitzki, there was an absolute.
It was a big shot.
Legacy of
LeBron. It was
LeBron.
a huge shot.
Yeah, I mean, does that one rank as one of the best? I think it might be one of the best runs in NBA history.
Yeah, it's up there for sure.
As we're wrapping things up here, let's see. Yeah, Jordan is king. I like that one. Unknown Texter 1000. Insightful dude. They score 30 to 40 more points combined.
Was it that year? I'm trying to think. What were the Spurs still the Spurs? Because I know they had Ginobili. I know Ginobili was going off. They weren't too far. They weren't too far removed.
They were good, right? Popovich the coach, so they did have Tim Duncan. They did have Manu Ginobili, Danny Green, George Hill.
Parker.
I don't know if they had Parker. I'm looking for it. Oddly enough, I'm not seeing Tony Parker. They must have got him the year later. He's not listed on this roster, 2011, 2012 season. So, but that was like the start of the Spurs. So it's not like, again, when we're talking about some of these runs, it's incredible that Dirk Nowitzki was able to pull that one off. And again, to kind of wrap things all up, I think Michael Jordan's the GOAT. I do think that run right in particular was like the first dagger to what is the LeBron James legacy. Good morning, Pierson-El. Appreciate it as always. We'll keep it rolling here on Ticket Weeknights. Don't go anywhere.